everyone, and welcome to today's interview. I am with the one, the only Honey C. Golden, and today we are going to be talking about. Okay, Aaron, on a second. Today we're going to be talking about Es Vedra, which is an island off the south coast of Ibiza. But first of all, say hello, Honey.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see you.
Hi,
Good to
everyone.
see you, Antonia.
So basically, Ibiza is an interesting place. I've been going on holiday to Ibiza for a really long time, and Es Vedra is this island off the southwest coast, and it's steeped in legend. And I'm going to show everyone pictures of it. So I'm going to start by sharing you a picture, but it's Es Vedra, or the sleeping dragon is another name for it. And I'm basically, I know, like, Honey, you don't know how good this is going to be. I'm so excited to share this with people because I've known about this place and visited this place many times over the last 25 years. And I've wanted to know more, and I've done a load of research into it, and there's all things I've garnered over 20 years, but I want Honey in her wisdom to tune in and tell me what's fake, what's fact, and basically what's going on with this rather magical place. So just to set the scene, I'm just going to show everyone what it looks like, including you, Honey, because I'm making you do this blind somewhat.
That's fine.
Okay.
I like it that way.
I think it's more genuine. All right, share
Yeah.
screen. So here we go. So if I can get the right screen up, it should be. I had this all prepped a minute ago and now it's vanished. Hang on. Is it that one? No, that's one of them. We're going to get to that one. It's this one.
Okay.
No, hang on a second. If I can get. It's being very naughty. 2 seconds, everybody. So you have everything prepped and then it does naughty things. And it's just like.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
Typical.
Sorry, everybody. I had everything prepped. Oh, there it is. There we go. Here we go. Can you see this? Is it working? No, it's paused. So
I see a compass.
no. That's not the one you want. That's the next one. That's where we're going to get to. That's stage 2. So this is the one I want you to do. So I'm going to stop share and then restart the share screen. This one. Right. This is the island of Es Vedra.
Oh.
You naughty little monkey. Now everything about my food delivery is on there. I have everything prepped and it's naughty. Right, this is the island of Es Vedra, which is here. It's 2 islands of the southwest coast of Spain. So I'm just going to show you that one. There is this one.
It looks really dry. I thought it wasn't as dry as that for some reason.
And there's this one. And there's another one I'm going to get to in a minute, but I want to show you that in just a minute. It is. Okay, let me just talk to you about what this place is. Es Vedra, also known as the Sleeping Dragon. It's a small rocky island of the southwest coast of Ibiza in the Balearic Islands off the coast in Spain. So, and it's a nature reserve. It's 2.5 kilometers off the south coast of Ibiza. It's made of limestone, 430 meters long. We're not allowed to visit it. This is where it starts to get interesting because it's a nature reserve. Now, there are interesting plants and animals. There's 166 types of plants and rare animals on there, which we're not allowed to go onto it. So there used to be lots of goats there, and there are no human inhabitants since 1855, when a friar was there. He was exiled from his monastery, and he spent a short time there, and he had visions and saw ETs.
Mm-hmm.
All these rare plants and animals that exist nowhere else in the world. Some birds and reptiles are there that exist nowhere else, and there were 144 goats, but they got slaughtered to look after everything else. So we're going to get into some of the interesting stuff. So it is the 3rd most magnetic place on Earth after the North Pole and the Bermuda Triangle. There's a lot of UFOs there. There's a lot of things about hidden portals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me tell you some of the interesting stuff. So I'll start with the magnetic. So it's said to be super magnetic. Now, I have been on boats there, and you are not allowed on there. I mean, you're not allowed on there. Stop share a second. You are not allowed on there to the point where I have tried and bribed ship's captains to take me there, and you are not allowed. And there's a huge fine. You can lose your boating license. It's a big big no-no if you go there. It used to be a leper colony on there a long time ago as well, but you are not allowed to go there. And if you get caught, you can get thrown in jail unless you have a particularly good reason to be going there, like occasionally university students can go there. But it's said to be, first of all, I need to show you the other one, which is this one, which hopefully I will be able to get the screen share on this one and show you the magneticness of it. So screen share again, and this one. Right, third most magnetic place on the planet. So I'd like to show everybody like where north is. So, oh, you are naughty little thing. Right, so basically north is pointing just there to the right, and north is, I line those up, but they are pointing, so then the pointy bit of the arrow is pointing to the east, and north is supposed to be there. It's hugely out. That's almost like 90 degrees off. If you look at that way is north and that way is north. They are massively off. And that is a compass, which is a magnetic compass, which is the little one, and a digital compass, which is the big one. So it is correct. It is massively magnetic, and it's made of limestone. So there are no particular metals there that should make it not be magnetic, or to be magnetic to that degree. It's extremely off. So that's one of them. So we'll get into that. It is supposed to be, which is another thing that you are going to be like the tip of Atlantis. Not the tip of Atlantis. It is meant to be the only place that goes directly from the surface of the earth right to the center of the earth. No. It was in Homer's Odyssey. Interestingly, they speak about it in Homer's Odyssey. So what happens is, so there were sirens there. So there are all these sirens, but they're not. They're not the typical sirens. So a typical siren is a mermaid. These are not the typical sirens. They are half bird and half human. And what happened is Ulysses, who was the hero in Homer's Odyssey, decided that he wanted to go and see the sirens. And they said, if you do this, you will be turned mad. You cannot do this. So he was given beeswax to cover the men's ears so they couldn't hear the sirens' songs. Whereas he wanted to hear the siren song. So they tied him to the mast. The only way where it was safe, if he was literally roped and tied up to the mast of the ship. And what he saw was beautiful, angelic, bird-like beings listening to this incredible siren songs. And the men saw these really like winged monsters. And that is in that book, which is really interesting. So vicious winged monsters. And it wasn't until they were out of sight of Es Vedra that then they took the wax out of their ears, because it wasn't safe. It's drawn men to their deaths. There is a giant who is said to live in Es Vedra. There are UFOs in Es Vedra. There's a cave, and there's Es Gigante. Es Gigante de Es Vedra is the giant of Es Vedra. He lives in a cave there. There are goddesses who were said to be born there. The goddess Tanit was said to be born there, and Bez. It's supposed to be used to build the pyramids. There's so much crazy stuff. Lots of lights.
I get no on the pyramids too, but some of the energy, like the idea of the energy for it, yes.
So, and there's also another thing which is a little bit wild, if I can show you that, and then we'll get into the discussion about it, if I can get my screen share to be playing nicely, is this one. So there is also one more picture there, because there are weird things in the water. I'm not sure if this is a genuine picture.
Oh, a swirl.
Yeah, that swirl, that vortex. Now, it could be fake, but there are said to be strange and weird things happening in the water around there. Sailors say unknown marine animals, like there are weird mermaids or animals around there, and strange lights and noises in this, and there are stacks of UFOs. and
Yeah.
gods. And it's been, it's been around since forever and spoken about.
So
So
we should leave the picture up.
this one,
Yeah.
sure.
So I got a lot of stuff while you were talking.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
So it is like the Bermuda Triangle. It's one portal, but that portal branches out into many portals. So you can go many different places from the one portal. And it depends on your frequency where you go. So it's kind of scary and sketchy. But many different realms can come through that portal. The giant is the protector of the portal. And I see him as being extraordinarily bored. So it's like, a guy who lives in the woods and he gets out of his cave and he scratches his butt. Basically he's very, very bored. Not a lot has been going on there recently. That swirl, it's basically they've disturbed the sea floor. So that's why it looks a little bit lighter in areas and darker, because it's actually deeper in some of those areas and not as deep in others. So they've created a swirl in the ocean floor. What else was there?
UFOs.
So much stuff. A lot. It's fae. It's a fae creation. So it has to do with the fairy realms and the mermaids and all the magical stuff. So if you go in there, it's like you're going to be psychologically pulled into either dark or light fae realms. So it's fourth density positive, or fourth density negative, depending on your vibration. So staying away from there is a good plan.
It sounds Ibiza in general Ibiza is the main island, which is a big party island, and it's been a party island since the Roman times. They've always used it forever. It's a fantastic place. But to tell you the truth, it's very hedonistic. It's very spiritual and very hedonistic. And I personally have had the best and the worst times of my life there. It is magical, but people do sometimes become very self-serving and not the best of themselves there too. So it's very polarizing. It is dark or light.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people haven't been good that have been there, and they've used those portals to kind of bring in magical beings that are not good as well. If that makes sense, for certain projects
Rituals.
that they were doing there. Yeah.
Difficult rituals and things like that. So why is it, what's the magnetism about? Why is the compass so off?
Because the portal is massive. So that portal, and then there's a portal under the Bermuda Triangle. There's actual pyramid down there at the bottom of the ocean. So that's a portal. This is a portal. And what's the other one? It's probably the same.
North Pole.
Yeah, it's no, that's a different thing. But also I got that this was a representation of an actual dragon.
Yes, what's that about? Is it
from the fae? It's like a dragon came through, deposited a residue or like an image of itself, and then went back through the portal. So the dragon created the portal in the first place.
It's not like it's a petrified dragon or anything like that. It's not turned to stone.
No,
or
I
anything like
asked
that.
and I got it was just like a representation of one. So it's like the dragon was able to create that stone.
Wow. Right, let's go through each, because I bamboozled you with information. So I'm just gonna go back through it a little bit more calmly. So I just wanted to give everyone an introduction. So, okay, so what about the UFO? So it's a portal. Is that why there's so many UFOs? What's that about? Because there is a significant number of UFO sightings there.
I feel like a lot of the UFOs that come through there, they can come through the fourth density positive Fey realm. They don't like it. Like it's hard
to get through.
Yeah, because it's so magical. It gets confusing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting we don't go on Es Vedra? It's a very bad idea to go there. We'll
I
get
would
attacked
say
by a giant.
it's a bad plan. I would stay away from it, honestly, unless you are Fey. But you have to be absolutely in a great space, or else you're going to end up in the dark Fey realm, which is not a nice place to be.
No.
Can get munched on there.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Okay, what is this about connection to the Earth's core? You shook your head at that, but it's something to do with it goes, or there's an entrance way directly to the Middle Earth or something. There's like gateways
Yeah.
down.
It goes down. I might have my pictures. They're in my computer bag here.
Because
It goes down and then it goes, think of Earth as like an onion. You know how you have the different layers?
Yeah.
So it goes down and it goes into the fourth density. It doesn't go into the middle of the Earth. Maybe we should stop screen sharing and then I can show
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense. Yep.
Okay. So if you think of the Earth as an onion, so the middle is the crystal.
Yeah.
It goes in and it gets into the one of the like second layer in of the onion.
Because
But it doesn't get deep into the Earth.
Because what it's supposed to be is the only place on Earth that does that, because apparently I know that we're talking, you've got a very different way that you look at the Earth, but I'm looking at my audience may well be unfamiliar with your views on these things.
Right.
Look at Honey's channel. She's got lots of really interesting information which resonates with me, so it's worth getting into. But the continents are supposed to, according to like traditional stuff, be floating. And this isn't actually floating. It's just like it's really anchored into the core of the Earth in the traditional sense, is how they say it is.
Well, it gets into inner Earth, which is rare. It's rare to find a place like that. But there's layers of inner Earth, so it doesn't get into the middle layer. So it gets into the fourth density positive layer and negative, it gets into that layer, but it doesn't get into the fifth or the sixth.
Is there an actual sort of tunnel down, or is it more of a portal? Can you actually walk down there without going through funny portals or not?
I see a tunnel, but it's like going straight down.
Oh, so you wouldn't be able to get
tunnel that you fall through versus you walk through. Yeah, you'd just be falling. Yeah,
a long way, and get splat at the end. Okay, so it says tip of Atlantis. So there's a lot of legends around it. I know that you have a view that the whole Earth was Atlantis a long time ago, before everything went wrong. But it's supposed to be one of the Atlantean places. It's supposed to be the last part of the sunkenness of Atlantis. Anything around that?
It feels like it has a connection to the last city, that was called Atlantis. Which was
Gibraltar. Well, Gibraltar's supposed to be like where it was, which is quite near, really. It's supposed to be the Pillars of Hercules are supposed to be the where Atlantis was, according to
what I get usually is geography is all like mixed up in a lie.
I'm sure.
So, but it's somehow connected to that city, almost like a satellite, like it had some of the same things going on. And it's a tip of it. And it's probably where they had one of the crystals that they were using.
Right.
So they were using crystals to do a lot of not nice things.
Is that Ibiza or just Es Vedra? Because as you said, they're 2.5 kilometers away.
I get just Es Vedra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So obviously Ibiza would be also affected by it because it's so close. But I don't get that the main part of the city was on that Ibiza island.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
So it was like further out. So that tip is the only thing that didn't sink. And it's almost, to me, it's like it was built up, like that portal, the dragon came through, he built an image of himself and then left so that they would still have a portal that was available.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the Homer's Odyssey with these sirens? Is that a normal thing? And I thought sirens they're normally mermaids, aren't they? They're normally with tails, not with wings. Anything, why is that
Yeah,
different?
they come from the same realm. So there's some scary birds down there. And I think they were trying to be like a blue avian.
Right.
So they were pretending. So if you listen to their song, they would be like, oh, we're so beautiful and wonderful. Come let me touch you. And they're actually really evil. So they're pretending. They have a lot of magical stuff that they're doing all the time.
Sirens.
Yeah, sirens and a lot of the stuff that can come through that portal.
Yes, because they get sent to their deaths. If they do go near them, they get pulled into the water, and they get, their aim is to kill you. That's why
Yeah,
he
they
was the
want
only
your
one.
energy. They want your life force. They're trying to steal it. Yeah. Nasty birds.
So we think the giant's still alive.
Yeah, he lives just within the portal now, though. So he's like on the lip of the portal, whereas he used to be just on the outside. So it's gotten so boring that he's living within it.
Just for a bit of fun.
Yeah, I guess. It keeps him going too. Keeps him living longer somehow.
That's so boring. Does he not have a Mrs. Giant? It's just one giant by himself.
No, he's one by himself, bored, eating fish.
And plants and
He's not having fun. It's almost like he was banished there.
what about this?
Yeah.
Yes, as we said before, the friar. Anything about him in 1855? The friar lived there for a short time after being exiled and saw lots of visions in ETs.
Yeah, he was quite tortured, I feel like. The giant was enjoying watching what was happening to him. So
Well,
the
it was
giant
all like he was
actually
on an acid
encouraged
trip.
it.
Was it like he was on an acid trip or something?
Yeah,
Oh
he
my God.
thought he was absolutely crazy. For some reason, his religion protected him. Like the cross or the idea of the religion kept him from getting sucked into the portal and just disappearing completely. But they had a lot of fun picking on him. It was like the giant was like a big bully. Yeah.
Golly. And what about the
Yeah.
lepers colony? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I get it was. And it made them even more crazy and unhappy. Horrible. Because they were already suffering with the skin condition.
So what about these special reptiles and birds and plants? Why have they got magical or different plants that are only found there and nowhere else?
They're sneaking through the veil or through the portal.
So they are magical things which shouldn't really be
Yeah.
on this side.
They're not meant to be here. So they're mixing, they're getting through.
Golly.
Yep.
Right. So the giants. So what about Tanit, who is the Venetian lunar god? Many sacrifices made on the full moon to Tanit, goddess of Ibiza, born
Oh,
there's Bez and Tanit. There's two different goddesses from Ibiza. And their statues are everywhere around, both of them.
yeah. So the negatively polarized people were using that portal for their stuff. So they were scaring people and doing their ritual stuff with that portal. So they were just utilizing it. They didn't create it.
And were there goddesses there?
It was their goddess. Their idea, almost like it came from, if you think of the Egyptian stuff, feels the same to me, like it's the same group. So the
But it was
Romans,
dark.
the
They were dark. They
Egyptians,
were
it was
dark
dark.
magic.
Yeah, it was dark.
But there were beings with abilities that, there was, but were they actually born there, these two goddesses? Or did it, maybe they just came through the portal?
No, they were theirs, and so they were that group's god and goddess. And they were just a representation of some of the other things that they had been doing. They're like, oh, we'll create new gods for this area.
Golly.
Yeah.
And unknown marine animals. So do you think there are the sirens, mermaids, anything else weird around there, like marine wise, lights and noises as well?
I think there's some weird flying fish. But they kind of fly more through the water than the air, but they come out at night. That's crazy.
You have to be about 200 meters away from it. Like it's super duper strict.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. The first time that you brought it up on the screen, it was like, wow. But before that, I was getting that it was Fae. So I was imagining that it was Fae like Ireland and, lush and green. But it's not. It's dry, but it's still Fae.
I know, that's why I didn't want to give you any information before we started. So it was all very fresh. Golly.
That's an interesting place.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And you wouldn't know about it unless you, go to Ibiza because it's just this strange, strange thing. So
yeah, and Ibiza is affected quite a bit by the energy that's coming out of that portal.
Is that why it's so polarized? And that's why it's always been the island of dance. Romans and Greeks and people for millennia have always gone there to have a party. Like it's got that energy.
Well, because they're steeped in dark magic, so they're using the magic there to kind of continue that feeling within them and do things that are not nice.
Oh, what? So there's lots of ritualistic bad stuff in Ibiza, is there? Do you think? Is there?
Yeah.
I've seen any of it. Well, I suppose the thing is you can if you've got a lot of people who are like in nightclubs, in various different states of consciousness from various things they may have consumed, that energy can be used in nefarious ways should they want to.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on underground. I feel like there's a place where they can come through like the cliff, there and see the portal, like see the power coming from the portal, and they invite things through the portal when they're doing their stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's yucky.
Is anything can be done to make it more positive or anything, do we think? Or just stay
I
the
feel
heck
like it's
away?
been shut down. So it's been shut down already. It's been well known by good, so they shut it down. But that's part of the reason the giant's so bored.
But it's still got the light and dark fae there though. Do they actually live there or?
But nobody's calling on the portal anymore. They're not inviting the portal to bring things out of it. So he's like, what am I doing here?
But what is he doing there? He's stuck now.
He's kind of stuck. Yeah.
Can he not go through the portal himself?
I feel like he's afraid to do that. He did something naughty, and that's why he's been, told he has to guard the portal.
How long's he been there?
Like 1,000 years. Like he's been there forever. Yeah. He did something bad in the good fae area. So in order to redeem himself, he has to guard the portal. Or else he's going to end up in the dark fae area. And he hasn't been the best out here. he's been enjoying himself and being kind of naughty, with watching people suffer. So he's always back and forth like, oh, I'm being really good. I'm going to be able to get back into my realm. Oh, that was fun. I got to go do something bad. So now I have to redeem myself again. Like he's all over the place, this guy.
Has he been forgotten about, or has he just not paid his penance?
At this point, he's pretty much forgotten about, yeah.
So would he get redeemed? Do you think there is redemption in his future?
The royal line of whatever, like the fairies or whatever that's down there, they're keeping track of him, but the people have forgotten that he's out there. So I feel like he squished somebody that was important on purpose, or yeah, he did something bad.
What sort of size are we talking, giant-wise? How tall might he be?
So the first thing that came in was 60 feet and then 120 feet. So he's extremely big. I get it's closer to 60. So he's more like a 60-foot giant. He can grow.
Oh, he can like
if
Alice in
he
Wonderland.
wants to be scary, he can grow. I feel like he grows when he gets into the ocean sometimes.
Drink me, eat me, Alice in Wonderland, isn't it?
Yeah, he's yucky.
Is he, because a lot of them have red hair. Is he one of the red-head giants, or is that not? It is a thing.
Yes, he has red hair. He's
God.
red hair. He's dirty. He eats fish. His pants are dirty. Like his whole, like he's just dirty in general. Bad hygiene. Every once in a while, he jumps into the ocean. That's his bath, and his clothes come clean at the same time. So I'd say he doesn't smell very good.
So if you notice this really bad stink when you're anywhere near Es Vedra, it's El Gigante, was it Gigante?
Yeah, it's the giant.
Yeah, the giant of Es
like
Vedra.
fish. He smells like dead fish, I feel like.
The giant of Es Vedra. I only knew about the giant yesterday. Wow. So, to be avoided. Not a place to hang out.
I would avoid that island completely.
See, I'm interested now, and I'm like,
yeah. That's a great place to get in trouble at this point still, I'd say.
I've always been nicknamed Trouble.
Yes.
Cool. Well, anything else to say on Es Vedra, honey?
I don't think so. I think it's just like, imagine that there's an invisible fence around it right now. That's what I would do, and kind of stay away from it. But I feel like Ibiza is not nearly as crazy as it was. So it's not a bad place to visit at this point, but just look from the edge. You can look at the island, don't go there.
I mean, Ibiza has changed a lot in recent years. For one, it's exceptionally expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like it's like $50 for like a main course, and even sometimes a starter in some of the restaurants is exceptionally expensive.
I think that's kind of to keep people away from there.
Yes, I do as well. Well, what they've decided is they don't want the riffraff, they only want the rich people. And so it's bringing up, because there was a lot of craziness down there and a lot of stag nights and a lot of just wildness. So it was, but I suppose I wonder if they were using, because there are drug overdoses every year there. I wonder if they were using that as sacrificial in some way.
Yeah.
That's what can
happen. And they
happen.
actually liked all those parties. The not nice guys, the bad guys liked all those parties. So it's almost like the good guys raise the prices.
Oh, really?
Let's get that energy. Let's not allow so many people to come here and use it as a party spot, because the energy is not right.
Yeah, because even the entrance into the nightclubs is sometimes about $70, some of them, DC 10 and stuff like that. It is. And now it's gone. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older. Now I'm more at least going for nice, like boozy lunches and being in the water rather than staying up until silly o'clock. But
Yeah.
there is that side of it too, but you need a lot of money to be there. But then it's going to
And it
attract
just keeps
people.
people safer to have it more expensive
Wow. It's an
because
interesting
less
place.
people will go there.
There are much cheaper other places to go to.
Hmm.
And it's made, the wild clubs have become a lot more shishi in general. There aren't the same places.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's safe to go there. I've been going for a long time. I will continue going because I love it.
Yeah.
But the energy
It's
of the place is interesting. Go on.
I just feel like it's been cleaned quite a bit. There's a lot
Yeah,
of, yeah, there's a lot of cleanup that's happened there, and it's not going to be the same in the future. But
yeah.
people will still need, I don't know about that portal, like that's a lot of work.
Oh, really?
So people will probably need to stay away from it for quite some time.
Until a big cleanup crew comes down to sort it out.
Yeah, if even that's allowed, like it may be supposed to be open so that the people from inner earth can come out.
Do they use it as that then?
Yeah.
So I almost can see because there's such a vertical tunnel, as you said. I just wonder if they almost like beam out, like Star Trek or something.
Yeah, I think they can be beamed out, they can be enticed. Remember, they're magical beings, so they can fly up as well. So it's not like an earth being. So they
Right.
have more powers to come out of there than we have to go in there.
So are there Middle Earth beings in Ibiza then? Might you meet someone from that sort of area who's come out to met them in a
Occasionally,
nightclub?
yes. Yeah, that's funny.
I wonder if I've met any. Have I met any? I probably have. I've been going there 20 years.
Yeah, I feel like you met a mermaid that was changed into a human.
Do you know which year?
Male. A
A male?
male. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was like posing as a surfer boy kind of thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Are there any mermaids or mermen in where I am in Cornwall? Because I'm also in magical land over here.
Rare. It's a lot more rare. They would be more positive than negative normally if they were there. It's going to be hard to find one. Yeah.
We can talk more about all these other things where I am living
Yeah.
another day. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, what a crazy island that is.
Isn't it just? That's why
Yeah,
I've been fascinated about it for forever. So I just really wanted to hear your opinion on everything.
I can see why. I mean, just the shape of it is enticing. You're like, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's fascinating. All right. Well,
Yeah,
thank you very much, Honey, for all of your wisdom. Is there anything else you'd like to add
thank
before we
you.
close?
No, that's it. Yeah,
So,
just
if anyone's not following Honey, then please follow her on your YouTube. You're most active, aren't you? You're Honey C. Golden, isn't it?
yeah, it
And if you
is.
want, so she's done quite a lot on hidden histories, which is my favorite ones. So she's gone through all these interesting places in the world which you may be familiar with and given a different outlook on them.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yes.
check her out. Thank you everyone for
Thank
watching.
you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
Bye.
sweetie. Bye.